it just crossed a line of just psychotic and full-on evil.
Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Franke. And if you couldn't tell from that clip, this is going to be a rough one, so if that's not in your wheelhouse right now, that's fine. Scroll, I'll meet you at the next one.
A woman who rose to fame on YouTube with her videos on parenting, childcare, and marriage is charged with 6 counts of felony child. But how did we get here?
How did we get here indeed? Well, it certainly wasn't overnight. And there was a lot of stuff that went on here, which we're going to go through, and this series went through, which is a series that just came out on Hulu. It's got 3 episodes total. We're probably going to break each episode into 2 parts, so we're looking at about a 6-part series. The mom who was running the YouTube channel 8 Passengers, which at its height boasted a whopping 2.5 million followers and almost 1 billion views. They were really, really doing some numbers on there. Then it did almost kind of fall apart overnight, even though there were a lot of red flags before that, when people found out that one of the children had been forced to sleep on a beanbag for about 7 months, and they posted a video laughing about it like it was no big deal. This family went from filming a daughter climbing out of a crib on her own and thinking that was so funny in gender reveals, to the mother referring to the kids as demons and starting an entire new channel with a woman named Jodi Hildebrandt called Connections to talk about these things. The things being said on Connections apparently weren't concerning enough, even though you can actually go back and watch those videos and see that they were in fact very concerning. And the entire thing blew up when one of Ruby's children was able to escape Hildebrandt's house of horror. There's no other way to put that. And he got to a neighbor and got help for him and his sister.
There's a certain culture here, a culture of perfectionism, wanting to look a certain way, wanting to be good, wanting to be more perfect. And the reason why is because Utah is the capital for the Mormon Church.
That is someone who actually studied under Jodi Hildebrandt, which was why he was interviewed for the documentary. However, he's talking about this culture of kind of perfection, and that's mirrored a lot in what Ruby's soon-to-be ex-husband says about her, in that she wanted everyone to think she was the best mom ever. And I thought it was important to note the delineation. She wanted everyone to think she was the best mom ever. She didn't want to be the best mom ever. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in those statements.
Is what I scheduled worth?
Hey, I'm still recording! Come on! Why am I hearing all this noise?
35, and we're trying to get ready for church. That one.
Illustrated difference between wanting everyone to think that you're a good mom and actually being one, because you can just cut the camera and cut all of that out. And the way that they got that footage, the family actually provided them with thousands of hours of footage that no one had seen before, just to kind of show this was what was going on behind that. They also mentioned that Utah became kind of the epicenter for family vlogging and child bloggers and all of this stuff, but I can bet $1 you'll see a lot of them mass exiting the state, because it's one of the 4 states now where they will have to keep some of that money for their kids. Sherry Franke, the daughter of Ruby Franke, actually had almost everything to do with this going through. She did a ton of lobbying, worked really, really hard. And if this is something that you want to look into for your state, you can kind of research that, figure out what you need to do, who you need to talk to, but it is possible. Ruby from the very beginning was doing this because she wanted to get more recognition, because she felt like she was doing all of this and she was so amazing, and people would just really love to see that.
And Ruby's sole ambition was to be seen as the perfect mom. It's all she talked about. It's all she focused on. But she wasn't getting enough praise and attention for it.
The person speaking is Kevin Franke, Ruby Franke's soon-to-be ex-husband and the father of all 6 of her children. Now, I know there's a lot to say about that. We're going to get to that in a minute. We're just kind of setting the scene of what happened right now, or how we led up to this, and the expectations. You know what I mean? So we're going to get there. Promise.
I want our channel to be a ray of sunshine in a world where people just criticize each other and make each other feel bad. And we're here to show that happy families are reality.
Kevin Franke goes on to say that she wanted to post these videos on YouTube, but she didn't want anything to be forced, even though there's a lot of video footage that comes up that is pretty contrary to that statement. A lot of them there are. Like I said, we're going to talk about all of that in a little bit. But the kids were excited at first. They started getting little videos taken of them, and Sherry even said she was like, I felt kind of famous, but then it got really businessy. That, of course, devolved rapidly, like you would expect it to, honestly, because it's kind of starting to look like a pattern with these channels. And the husband said, before we started getting paid, I was deeply uncomfortable because when I was growing up, I felt like a nerd. I didn't feel good enough. I even had to go out of my way to get this woman to marry me.
I decided to play dirty. Inside of her closet, she had this big table. All of the rows vertically were all of the attributes in a guy that she was looking for. She had physical attributes like athletic. She had a ton of attributes that were related to our religion and our faith.
The ultimate affirmation of them as people, in their estimation, is now this eternal life that they're going to have together, and they start having kids. And of course, a little while goes by because they have a lot of kids. And they get their first viral video, which is the one I mentioned of the kid crawling out of the crib. And that's when they really, really got deep into, you know what? We're going to turn the kids into employees and make some money.
The kids were all employees. Is how we were referred to as like employees, and Ruby was the CEO.
So at this point, the money's coming in. They're saying in their good months, they would get hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, of which they would give the kids $10 per video if they were complaining, which they did often because it became a job. Everything they did, they had to be filmed. Light bulbs were changed in the house. They didn't have any autonomy anymore. Plus, they also took videos of the kids with a bunch of cash looking like they were actually getting something, when in reality, again, it's $10. Common theme I've seen with these family channels is a lot of times they have like the star of the channel. And in this case, it was Sherry and Chad. And if they were in the thumbnail, the video was just going to do better. So they were pushed to do a lot of content, and especially Chad, because
I was living vicariously through him. He was everything that I wished that I was when I was a kid. Confident, handsome, great at sports, the heartthrob, and the comedic relief. And that's important. Ruby knew that. And she exploited it.
Did you exploit it?
Absolutely, I did.
it's really important to know which child that is too, because that's Chad, the one who had his bedroom taken away and who was, it seems like, one of the largest original targets of first Frankie and then Frankie and Hildebrand. Right around this part, they hit 1 million followers, and Ruby is featured on YouTube's page for Mother's Day. And this means a lot to her because supposedly the money was like, whatever. I'm pretty sure she enjoyed the money, but also that what was the most important to her.
By this point, Ruby was effectively America's mom.
Happy Mother's Day. I hope you.
And of all the moms that YouTube could showcase and highlight and put on a pedestal on Mother's Day, there was Ruby. She wanted that more than anything.
Being featured on YouTube as someone who is sitting in the United States of America right now does not make you my mother. That was said several times, and a ton of people are just like, who are you talking to? But we'll get into that more in part 2. I will see you there, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day.